Hi everyone, right, I've just got a few things to show you. First of all, I added, do you remember I got that stuff in a bag from the miniature shop? It's just like sawdust basically, coloured sawdust. So what I did with the wing that I made yesterday, do you remember I added that onto the, oh what do they call it now, the non-stick mat. I glued on the wires and then I just brushed it. Well, I used some of the Mod Podge glue, didn't I? Well, what I did, I just pressed on some of that while it was wet, and then I let that dry overnight. Now what I can do with this is to shape it however I want it. So I'm going to go pretty close to the edge of that side of the wing. You just cut it, see? It's great. Just discard that. And then I can, you know, really shape what I want to do with it. Like that. Now I'm going to go inwards, so I'm going to take that and go in. Like a cone, a curve. Probably using the wrong scissors for this. See if I can get any sharper ones. So again, just take that and cut that in. Like that. It's probably not the right thing, but the right shape. I can always reshape it. I can cut it down if I want to. But there you go, and I've got my wing. Now with that, I can just colour that. And so what I'm going to do is, when I can find my little pot, oh here we are, I know where it is, is to pop it in here. Let me just move that. Now I do have some videos to do because I received a parcel from a friend in Canada, and I know she's waiting for me to do the video, but Linda, don't worry, I'm doing it. Pop that in there. Now I can do this any colour, can't I? Let me just have a look at what I've got here. I've got some latte which I can paint on, and hazelnuts. It says bright hazelnut. Well, what's that? Let's have a look at this one. Right, this is a Adirondack hazelnut. I'm not sure what it'll end up like. To me, it could be a concentrate. I don't know. I'm just going to put a few speckles on there. Take a brush, and we'll just see what happens. See, to me, oh, that's dark, isn't it? But it, right, get the water and spray it. Ooh, look at that. Now that's soaking in. It's seeping in. And brush some on here. Because it's got a texture, it's going to look fantastic. You know, think outside the box. I could have used the medium. I could have used is, you know, the one with the beads in, the gel one. Sorry if you're not seeing that. The one with the gel in, the gel one with the beads in. And I can, you know, just put a bit of greenery in it, because it's whatever you want to use it for. It doesn't matter. Put some alcohol ink in. Just use what you've got. Now, if you don't own alcohol inks, use food colouring. Now, Mark, which is my friend from London, is constantly giving tips. So if you read his comments on my videos, he'll always give you tips of how to use things if I forget. Or if, I mean, sometimes I've learnt from Mark, so I'm really grateful for that. But that's how you can do it. And then what we do is we just take that off. See? Pop that on there. And then we take our heat gun. So don't worry about it. If you don't own them, use food colouring. It's no different, to be honest. And we'll dry this off. I would leave it to dry naturally when you've just heated up a bit so that the heat can dry it. Because don't forget you've got glue on it, so that will soften again. So I'm just going to try something. By the time I come back, I'm just going to get something. That will cool. If I want to change all that. Where, here we are. Now, let me just see. I think we'll have... Let's have a look. Yeah, let's do purple, pink and gold, I think. Well, it's not, it's 2 shades of purple. We'll just see how we get on. I've got some of these. These are the metallic paints, the Lumiere. So I'm just going to use this. Now, you know, I know people say, well, wait for this to dry, wait for that to dry. I'm not a conventional artist. Never have been, never will be. That's still wet. That doesn't bother me at all. So I'm just going to add some of this. And I always take the paint from the lids, because then it saves you getting anything mixed up into your pot. Blend that in. Blend it all in. Like that. Now, if you don't have these, don't worry about it. Just buy the kids' cheap metallic paint is just as good. Just as good. You know, I got these when I was in America because they were cheap. If I would have had to pay full price, I wouldn't have them. I wouldn't own them at all. But they had a sale on when I was there, so I thought, ooh, well, now I'll get them. I only paid for these what I would have paid for the cheap paints here. Now we're just going to blend that in like that, and that, now I will dry it, because after drying it I would coat it. So I'm just going to try and dry that off. I mean, I could pour on that while it's hot, sprinkle on some powder, you know, the mica powder. The embossing powders, I mean. You could sprinkle them on and get another effect, which I'm going to do actually. I'm going to do that and we'll see what happens. But I mix and match constantly. Why not? Now I've got to find a nice colour. Let me just find somewhere to put this. We'll have some pink, some purple. And we need gold. Where's the gold? We'll have a little bit of gold. We might have a touch of copper. So what we're going to do is, first of all, sprinkle on some of this on the lightest purple bit, like that. That's great. Some of the pink, because this has got a pearlescent colour to it, where the purple is. We can do that. This is what a mixed media is. You're mixing your mediums together. And I'm not going to put it all over it. I'm just going to sprinkle some of this on the edge of the tip of the wing. Now hopefully it won't blow that away. If you've got a heat gun that really blows out like a hairdryer, you really need these heated up because the heat is concentrated. And it doesn't blow it away. Oopsie daisy, I don't want to burn that. So I've got some more things to show you because, like I said, I'm doing a curiosity shop next. Well, is it one of... I don't know what it might be. It'll just be a shop with everything in it that's funny. It's going to take a while to do it because it's wet. It's not a dry surface it's gone on. Yeah, it's starting to go now. Now it's starting to bubble, which is what we want it to do. And it's giving it like a pearlized finish. Oh, it's turning now. It's because it was wet that it takes. You have to dry that before the embossing powder will work. Let's move them out of the way. Oops, don't, because I don't want them getting heated. See, I don't know if I can bring it up close enough for you to see what's happening with it. Hope you can see that. Very, very hot at the moment. Just keep that going because you're drying it as well at the same time. Now what I'm going to do is put that one side just to dry and cool down a little bit. Let me take that off actually, it can stay like that. How hot. That'll be fine. And while that's cooling down, I'll show it back in a minute. Now remember I did this last night and I showed you how to make these little display cabinets. And I've put shells on mine, just coloured it a little bit. Might do a little bit more colour into that. I then wanted, you know, like a bird display. So what I've done is I've used a barrel, what I call a barrel. I've added 5, or is it 1, 2, 3, 5? 5 wires of different lengths. Just bunched them all together, stuck them in the pot, poured glue down the hole, and then I've cut one of these bird cages, one of these bird nests, just cut it on one side and then slotted it around all the wire, and I'm going to cover that with a flower, so that's encased that. Added some eggs so you can see that, and then added lots of flowers, and on each end of the wire, which I've bent as you can see, I've popped one of the tiniest little birds that somebody sent me. And then it's got the flowers in, so that's also going to stand as a display in the shop. So I'm just going to take that out a little bit more now. Like, oops. Oh, it goes blurred at certain points. Like that. So that's what I've done. So that's a nice little bird display. So that's the shells. And then I made this one. I've just got to paint these white and put a black wick in. And what I've done, I don't have any domes left. And I thought, well, how the hell am I going to do that now? Because I can't find any domes online either. You know, like the glass domes, well, the plastic ones. So I decided to make my own display case, and that's what I've done. Now, the back is a bit yucky because it's done with hot glue. But I've put this in, a display of eggs, bird eggs. 2 of the skulls, which I'll darken as well. That's nothing. There's no problem there. I mean, they don't have to be dark, but look, you can do that. I'll get a little pad or something, earbud, to get down the edges there. And then these are going to paint like a white colour. And I'm going to put a wick in, and there'll be candles with that. Now, the only thing I want to do, I think, I'm not sure, is... I might just glue this ribbon, which is thin ribbon, over the edge of that. And that was just a piece of material, because it's not, I didn't have a dome, so I'm just going to show you how to make one of those, because I do need another one. So let's have a look. Now, you do have to work pretty quick, because you could do it like that, you know, and you can glue that down, but it's very, very tricky when it's not so much, you know, not so flexible. So I'm just going to cut that in half, and then very quickly take the heat gun just to heat that up a little bit, and then bend it, and it makes it so much easier to get that shape. If I want to put a little animal in there, then to hide this at the back, you would pop in something like that, and then you can stick something in there. Or if you're stamping on something and you want to, you know, some, I don't know, grasses or something like that. Let's have a look, see what we've got. Let's have a look. Say I wanted to put this plant in, and the writing behind is all about the plant. Then you glue that in, and then you glue that onto your base. Like that. So you can do all sorts. You don't have to go out and buy them expensive domes. I mean, I've only ever bought 2 in my life because I needed them for a particular thing, and I didn't have any acetate at that time, but I knew I had, I could get hold of 2 of those. Otherwise, I'd just make my own. You know, and you can put bead caps over these. So let me just... I've got some... I'll just show you, because it's just think outside the box. And play with what you've got. I do have... I think I've got some large bead caps or something. You know me, I keep everything. Oh no, they're beads. Oh look. No, that's too small. But you could put like a bead or a button cap on. Oops, that's gone through. Too big. They're too small. But you see what I mean? It's use what you've got. Let me just find out, because I have got a box somewhere. Oh, here we are. I've got something else on it. Oopsie daisy. Just pop that there. Let's see. These are all the things I've collected from my, you know, the necklaces from the car boots and that. You know, you could pop in a cap like that, just to be different. Well, I've got it through now. But do you know what I mean? That would look just as good there. Or a big bead on the top. Just think about what you've got. Yeah. Whatever. Just think about what you've got. See, that would look nice. And you could have that with a fairy in there. You know what I mean? So, and you don't have to have an actual 3D fairy. Just get a picture of a fairy and do a captured fairy. And you can always put a bit of trimming around the edge there. Pop that onto a base. Nice bit of trimming around the edge. And there you go. It's think outside the box. Use what you've got. search around the internet for things and say, now, I can't afford that, but how can I change it to make it mine? And that's great. You can do all that sort of thing. It costs nothing to do that. And like I say, where's it gone? I've just had it in my hand. Here it is. Is use what you want. Use what you've got. And that would be how you do it. And look, you could put a little bit of writing in there about that particular plant. Stand it on a base. Put a lid on that. And hey ho presto, you've got that. So, that's what I've done with that one. So I'm going to make them into candles. Out the paper I also cut the piece of chipboard, put the eye on, and then I put a piece of acetate over it. So that's for the shop, the next shop. So we've got that, and this. It's just think outside the box. What can you do? Oops. Come on, camera. Play the game. Okay. Think outside the box. Let's see how our wing has got on. Right. That's dried. Now all I was going to say was, if you've got any of the this, you know, like a decoupage glue, something that leaves a very nice sheen over the wing. Now I know some of you do all these weird and wonderful things. This would be your cup of tea to see something like that colour and shape. So take hold of your paintbrush. Just make sure it's nice and clean. That will harden, don't worry about that. So this is like the decoupage stuff, but it dries clear. So it's a great way of giving a top coat to something. Like that. You pop that on as thick as you want. So that will dry and leave a great sheen. So I hope that's helped you. Thanks for watching. Take care. Speak to you soon. Bye bye for now.